Hey, horror fans! Once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G, and I'm back once again continuing my series with Paranormal Activity. I'm on to the fifth one, and that's Paranormal Activity Marked Ones. Now, some interesting tidbits that I learned about this particular film. This film was actually scheduled to be released, obviously, in October because that's basically what the other series have been doing, was released every October for Halloween. Unfortunately, production took longer than it did, and unfortunately, they had to push back the release date. It was scheduled to be released on the 25th of 2013, but they had to wait and didn't release this until January of 2014. Now, of course, we all know what happens when movies, especially horror movies, are released in the month of January. Most of them are very bad horror pictures. Case in point, we have Devil's Due, and of course, who can forget the Bye Bye Man? Oh, God, those two films sucked. But yeah, they had to not release this film until January. Now, based upon what I researched, also, there were some critics that definitely did not like this film, mainly because it released in January. But it did get some mixed reviews. A lot of people thought it was a little better than the disaster that was Paranormal Activity 4. Some people thought that only fans of the series would love this film. Unfortunately, another tidbit that I learned, this and also the Ghost Dimension had the lowest box office opening of the weekend. I believe it only made like 10,000, might have made a little bit more. I know the total gross worldwide was 90 million worldwide. It only made like 35 million domestically. Definitely not what they expected. And it just tells you, once again that obviously whether this was better or worse than the fourth one, the series was losing steam. Another tidbit that I learned about the series said this doesn't feature any of the nights throughout the show. Basically, mostly all the paranormal activity stuff happens during the nights that they said, like night one, night two. No, this actually just happens throughout the film. Weird shit happens throughout the film, so we don't have any nights. Another interesting tidbit, this is the first of the series where they actually see the Paramount title card. The stars flying across the ocean, and we see the title card. Most of the others, they just simply had them opening up with somebody filming something. And also, this is the first one where where the poster doesn't have a camera POV. It actually has an image of a nun with a skull. You'll see it when I put them up, but that's basically what I've learned about this film. Now, Paranormal Activity, the Mark Ones, is a 2014 American supernatural found footage horror film. It was written and directed by Christopher Langdon. Again, let's hope he learned from his mistakes. This film stars Jason. He was produced by Jason Bloom and Oren Pele. No, Oren Pele, he's the one that created this one. It stars Andrew Jacobs, George Diaz, and Gabrielle Walsh. Now, the way this film is set up, this is set 7 years from the first Paranormal Activity film and set immediately after the events of Paranormal Activity 4. They decided to go into a sort of different direction in this one. That's why it's called the Mark Ones and not Paranormal Activity 5. Because Paramount and I guess the producers of the film wanted to do some type of an offshoot, not try to not have it connected to the main storyline. I guess that's why they decided to go in that direction, mainly because of the disaster that was Paramount Activity 4. But let's go ahead and see what I thought about this movie. So we begin with the main character, Jesse Astra. He is a Latino who had just graduated from high school. He lives with his father and his sister. Obviously, something bad must have happened to his mother because we only see pictures of her. She's mentioned so much throughout the film. And they decide to spend their summer. His father tried to tell him he's got to get a job now, but he and his best friend Hector, they have a camera that he got for his graduation. They start filming each other, and of course, they start doing dumb stuff with the camera, as what you expect for teenagers of that age to do. In the neighborhood that they live in, there is a weird woman who they believe is a witch, and unfortunately, right during the beginning of the film, she passes away. And when these two knuckleheads, along with their friend Marisol, decide to go into her apartment, they find out that she's got a lot of weird stuff in it and rituals that they think. So one night, as dumb teenagers do, like they do in the movies, they decided, hey, let's recite one of her spells. Oh, God. Of course, this only begins some of the weird shit that starts to happen, especially to Jesse. Weird shit starts to happen to him personally. At first, they think it's a gift, but unfortunately, as time goes on, his personality changes and things start to happen to him that really does not bode well for our three friends. And that's basically what the premise of the Mark One is about. Now, they use a different approach here, once again, with the found footage aspect of this film. Like I said, he gets a camera and he starts filming him, and Hector starts filming each other. And I stated before, as typical teenage boys, they do dumb shit with the whatchamacallit. Like in one scene, he's got Jesse slowing down the steps in a crate, and the guy nearly breaks his knees and his neck trying to do it. They also film each other going into the old woman's house. I think her name is Anna. I got that correct. And they just do dumb shit with this stuff, but that's what you expect with teenagers when they film stuff. I mean, that's what they all do. Now, of course, as the weird shit starts happening to Jesse, they continue to start to film it. You would think they would actually stop filming and find out what the fuck is wrong with this guy, but no, they continue to start filming, which is one of the problems most people have with found footage films. And unfortunately, as Jesse's personality starts to change, that's when the film starts to rise up in its tension. As we obviously know for a fact that whatever's happened to Jesse is not going to lead them to no good. And, that's some of the problems I have with this film is, again, once again, why are you filming this stuff when obviously something bad is happening to him? Why don't you try to do something to prevent this from happening? If you're his friend, should do the best thing. I know that's what I would do, but then again, if, it's just for movie's sake. So that's the problem with found footage sometimes. Now, one of the things I actually found fascinating is that we actually have a new character. There are certain characters that do make a return appearance in the film. And that's one of the problems that I have is despite the fact that they actually tried to do this in a new direction, they really don't try to bring anything new. Now, of course, I do understand they were trying to, it seemed like, I do understand they were trying to do something different, but in reality, they really didn't. It seemed like they were trying to sneak something in, but still expand the mythos of this story that they have here. Like, there is one particular scene, I would say right around the second act, we see a certain character make an appearance in the film, and obviously she's just there for exposition and actually add some more mythos to the storyline as we actually get the name of the coven of it and what their purpose is, what they're trying to do. But I thought that was just a cop-out. If you're going to try to do something new, then try to do something new, not just continue to add something on. But then again, I guess that's what they were trying to do. Let's throw something new, but still we want to satisfy our fans. Now, I have to give Andrew Jacobs credit, despite the fact he really doesn't have nothing to work with. He does give Jesse, does make Jesse a very promising and very sad protagonist. Once the event does happening to him and the stuff that's happening to him, we kind of feel sorry for him. Because he's just a kid that unfortunately did some dumb stuff, but that's what kids do. But we actually do feel sorry for him, and I did like the fact that Andrew Jacobs did play him with the best he could with what little that the script gives him to work with. Now, while he does a good job, unfortunately, George Diaz and Gabrielle Welch really don't add anything to it. They're just there just to do the dumb stuff with Andrew. And unfortunately, they don't add anything else to their characters. They're just there for the ride. They do show some concern for Jesse, but they really don't do the right thing in order to help their friend. And unfortunately, that's the problem with the script. It doesn't really give them much to do. Now, the film tries to give us some good scares. There was one scary part right towards the end of the picture, which I thought was pretty good. But unfortunately, it really doesn't do anything else. And unfortunately, again, they really did not do a good job, especially when we get to the third act. And I'm pretty sure the people who saw this film know what I'm talking about. I'm like, they went there? Are they crazy? I'm like, I guess they thought it was going to be shock value when stuff happens. And we're like, oh shit, wow, they actually did that. But I don't know. Maybe because they thought they were trying to tie this in with the main storyline. I guess that's why they did what they did. And I also made a mistake. Kitty Firestone does actually make an appearance here. Her and Micah Sloan. They actually do make an appearance here. I won't say when, but people who've seen it know what I'm talking about here. To me, it's kind of a cop-out. And I guess that's why some of the people didn't like this film because of what they did during the third act. Now, like I said before, there's some good, nice scares in here, and there's some great moments in the picture. They do try it, but I thought the third act, what happened was a total cop-out. You know, it's like, come on, guys, if you're going to try something new, just try something new. Don't try to cram something in and try to make this an offshoot, but then you're going to try to tie it to the rest of the mythos of the storyline. I thought it was a cop-out. So, I guess you can say that, as far as I'm concerned, this was kind of a okay film. It's certainly better than what they did in the fourth one. But like I said, the third act really doesn't do anything. I did like the acting. I like what they tried to do in this film. But again, like I said, when if you're going to try to, don't be afraid to try to create something new. You know, it's like, don't try to add something in here. Like that third act really just had me disappointed. So, Horror Miser is going to open up his vault, and I'm going to give Paranormal Activity the mark ones only 2 of my 5 gold coins. Yes, only going to give it 2 out of my 5 gold coins. It's not as bad as Paranormal Activity 4, but you know, that third act, oh boy, really took me out of it. So, my horror fans, to those who have seen Paranormal Activity, the Mark ones, what do you think about this? Do you think this was a good entry and a good makeup for the fourth movie? Or did they fall short, especially with what happened in that third act? Leave your comments down in the comment section below and tell me what you thought about Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. So, that's my video for today, horror fans. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and like and share because it does help the channel out. And once again, this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, rules. Now we go on to the ghost dimension. We'll see you then.